Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students and welcome to this channel Sindh College Lectures by College Education Department, Government of Sindh. I am Seema Ghumro, lecturer chemistry from Government College for Women, Khairpur. So students, we are starting our study period again through this channel. So let's start our course where we left it before this lockdown. I am starting the course of first year chemistry from chapter 7, that is solutions and electrolysis. So in this lecture you will learn these unit of chapter 7, that includes solutions, components of solution, types of solution, concentration of solution and concentration units. So students, you all may have your own definition about solution because the term is not new for you all, as solutions are all around us and we see a number of examples in our daily life. For example, from the very important one, the air we breathe is a solution, and much of what we drink like soda, coffee, tea, lemonade, milk, these all are solution. Other than these, you can observe a lot of other examples of solution in your routine life. So here we have the simple definition of this term solution, that says that it is homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. And one of the most common example of solution when sugar is dissolved in water. So from the definition, the first point is clear that it is mixture, it is not a compound. Now how it is mixture? As like in mixture, the two or more substances combine without any fixed ratio. The same thing happens in the solution, that we don't need any fixed ratio of substance to be combined and making up a solution. Let me make it more clear that let's assume if we have 100 ml of water in a beaker and we are dissolving 2 gram of sugar into that. In another beaker we have 100 ml of water and we are dissolving 4 gram of sugar into that and making a solution of sugar and water. Now you can say that both are the solution of sugar and water because both have the same composition. So in solution, the ratio of the component, it's not fixed, because in solution the most important thing is that we don't have any chemical bond between the substances. That is why their ratio is not fixed. So like mixture, there is only physical linkage in the solution. That is why solutions are called as mixture. Now the second point from the definition is that it is homogeneous in nature. It means that we have uniform composition throughout the solution. Again take the same example, that dissolve 2 gram of sugar into 100 ml of water. Then after dissolution we will have the uniform composition of the solution, because you cannot differentiate between pure sugar and pure water. So from this we can describe a solution as they are one in phase with uniform composition and there is no any chemical change. Now we have the components of solution. The first component is known as solute, which is the substance that is dissolved in other substance, and the second component is solvent, which is the substance that has ability to dissolve the solute. Both of these substances make solution in which solute particles are surrounded by solvent molecules by some intermolecular force of attraction. Now we can identify the component by its amount. So in a solution, solute is always present in lesser amount and solvent is present in larger amount. Here we have another example of solution, that if we dissolve salt in a glass of water, then it will make the solution of salt water. So we can say that salt, as it is present in less amount, so it is solute, and water which is present in larger amount, so it will be the solvent. So both are making the solution. Other than these two common example of solution, sugar water and salt water, think of some other kind of solution, that what combination of substance can form solution. As we have three states of matter, solid, liquid and gases, so these three different substances can form 9 different types of solution. So here we have the list of solution, and this classification is based on the nature of the solute and solvent. So let's start from the first one, where we have the solid as a solute and solid as a solvent. Both this combination can form a solution, and we have the example of this is alloy, and you can see these common things made up of alloys in your daily life. The second type of solution, it is solid liquid type of solution, which is very common type of the solution, that when solid dissolved in liquid, that makes the solution. The sugar dissolved in water and salt dissolved in water, it's the example of this type of solution. The third one is when solute is solid and we have the solvent, it is gas in nature. So this type of solution, we have the example for this, that smoke in air, which are the dust particles, which are the solid particles, which are mixed in the air, it's the example of the solid gas type of solution. The fourth one type of the solution is liquid solid type of solution, where solute is liquid and solvent is solid in nature. So we have the example for this is butter and mercury, which is a liquid, it is dissolved in solid silver. In the fifth one, we have solute and solvent, both are liquid in nature, and the very common example for this, it is vinegar, in which acetic acid is a liquid, it is dissolved in water. The other example for this may be the alcohol, which is dissolved in water. So we can say that liquid can be dissolved in liquid and they can make a solution. The sixth one is the liquid gas type of the solution, and for this you may observe the fog in the winter season, which is the example of this type of the solution. And the seventh one is the gas solid type of solution, in which a gas solute, it is dissolved in solid solvent. So for this we have the example of hydrogen, which is a gas, it is dissolved in palladium metal. The eighth, gas liquid type of solution, which is again a very common type of the solution, and in which a gas, it is dissolved in a liquid, and for this we have the example of the carbonated drinks. And finally, another type of the solution in which both the components of the solution are gaseous in nature, and for this we have air as its example. So I think now you can identify some more example of solution with these different types, and you can appropriately add them to this list. So here we have the exercise that you have to solve. What you have to do, you have to identify the solute and solvent from these examples. As an example number 1, 1 gram of sugar dissolved in 100 gram of water. You have to identify which one is solute and which one is solvent. So students, up to now we are very much clear with this idea that solute is dissolved in a solvent and making a solution. Now the question is, can we dissolve any amount of solute in a solvent, or there is a limit to it? So the solubility describes the answer of this question. It says that a maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in a given amount of solvent at a certain temperature is known as its solubility, or we can describe solubility as the ability of solute to be dissolved in a solvent. Now, how would you describe this picture? As both the cup of tea have the same solution of water and tea. Is one cup of tea is stronger than other? Or you may say one is darker and other is lighter. So what made this difference? Obviously your answer is the amount of tea. So this amount of tea made 1 cup of tea is darker and other is lighter. In solution, this amount is known as concentration of solution, and it can be described as the amount of solute dissolved in a given amount of solution, known as concentration. So depending upon the amount of solute in a solution, we may have two types of solution. The solution may be dilute or solution may be concentrated. It totally depends upon that how much the solute particles are present in the solution. If the amount of solute particle present in a solution is in very smaller amount, then the solution will be considered as dilute, and if the solute particles present in a solution in a very greater amount, then that solution is considered as concentrated solution. Now we have the unit of concentration with which we can measure the amount of solute present in any solution. So this concentration, it can be measured in percentage, where we calculate the percentage through mass, percentage through volume. The other unit of concentration are molarity, normality, parts per million, that is ppm, and mole fraction. So in the next lecture, I will discuss about these units of concentration and how they are measured. So till then, Allah Hafiz. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, you can ask in the comments. Stay home, stay safe.